one I really wanted to touch on because this one, it got shared to me via DMs multiple times today. And I know it's Jeremy from the quartering. And I know oftentimes Jeremy and myself do not necessarily, I don't know, see eye to eye would be the nice way to put it. I like to poke fun at him. He likes to make fun of me in my hot tub. It is what it is. But at the same time, when you're right, you're right. And I think at the end of the day, we're all human and we won't always see eye to eye on everything. But I found this video in particular quite interesting because if you guys were around last week, I basically started the stream off chatting about like I feel like the channel has taken a massive hit where videos I would put out typically get anywhere between 55 to 60,000 to 120,000 views in the first 48 hours. And that has now gone down to 6,000 views to maybe 12,000 views. Like it's literally like 1/10 of the views that I used to get, which is crazy because I wasn't doing anything differently at the time. It just one day, I think it was like June 1st or whatever, or maybe it was a few days before June 1st, where it was just like a light switch flipped off and the views just stopped. And I'm like, damn, that's crazy. I started blaming myself. I started thinking that maybe I wasn't hitting on the topics that people cared about. Maybe I wasn't interesting anymore to people. Maybe, I don't know. You start as a creator, you start to question yourself and what you're doing. And then I started getting DMs from other larger creators asking a few other people, hey, have you guys noticed your numbers dropping? Because I'm getting crushed right now. And I'm like, actually, yes, I have. And other people chime in as well saying, yes, I have too. I have too. It's all across the board for larger creators. And I thought that was interesting. It wasn't just one person. So it makes you wonder if one, YouTube changed their algorithm, or two, viewers changed their viewing habits. It's just curious that it happened pretty much on a dime. Maybe it's because college let out and coming into the summer as just less viewership. Maybe that's what it was. I don't feel like it's the topics because the topics have been wild. Like some of the topics talking about now, I could argue have been far more interesting than some of the topics from last month, but it's not getting the viewership like they were last month. So it's crazy to me. So it could be a number of things, but regardless of that, Jeremy has a video here where he is basically explaining a very similar predicament that he is in as well. And if I was not a content creator, I would be just pointing and laughing at him and being like, dude, it's because you suck. But it's like, no, I am a content creator and I know what's going on right now. And I've seen it happen not just to me, but other friends of the channel, other very large creators out there that I'm not necessarily tight with. I've seen a whole gamut of people basically complaining that they're not getting the views they used to get. So even though I don't see eye to eye with this guy all the time, I do hear him out on this situation.
I don't know if many of you have noticed, but I've been a lot more shifty and weird breathy lately. And it's because I'm having near daily anxiety. There's been something going on with my YouTube channel over the past couple of weeks that I have been spending almost every single night trying to figure out. I talked to my YouTube rep. I talked to other people in the space. I just can't figure it out. And right now, I don't even really have a great answer. But what I do have is an action plan.
I do feel like what he's about to, because I have full disclosure, I have already watched this video today. I feel like he's overreacting, and I feel like he's very, you can tell he's extremely stressed right now. And some of the decisions that he's making, I don't necessarily agree with. I kind of go back to it's summer and maybe it's just views are down across the board because less people are at college campus hanging out, watching YouTube videos or whatever. They're out traveling or whatever, they're not focused on YouTube right now. Could be a number of things. It might not just necessarily be YouTube specifically, but I've been doing YouTube for over 8 years now, and I can never remember a summer before where just views got cut on June 1st, like by a tenth. It's not like, oh, you're getting like 10% less or 20% less views. It's like you're getting like 80 to 90% less views. It's like not even close to what it used to be. And he is clearly stressing out because he has employees. And that is always stressful. If you're paying other people as a boss to make sure you can afford the other people, it's a very stressful day to day.
Over the past several weeks, I have noticed videos that used to get 50, 60, 70, 80,000 views were starting to get 10,000 views, 15,000 views.
Which is interesting because even though he's well over 1 million subscribers, I was for a long time typically getting around those same views for the size of my channel. And now it's been cut to what he's saying right now. So it's almost like the algorithm changed dynamically where it doesn't care so much about how many subscribers you have. It just cares about it's put more of a focus on the content that you're putting out there. And this, if it was a shift in the algorithm for that, would benefit smaller channels to be discovered right now. Like if you are getting started on YouTube right now, or you're a smaller channel that's been doing it for a while and you feel like you never get the attention you deserve, this is the time that I've noticed that smaller channels are getting promoted more than I've ever seen before. And I can even speak from experience on that because my other channel, my second channel, Smash JT Live, was where I was putting like side clips that didn't really have too much to do with the main topics that I talk about, but additional content out there. Some of those were going mega viral. And that channel had at the time like 2,000 subscribers. Now it has over 10,000 subscribers and it's growing at a faster pace than my main channel right now, even though the main channel is where I'm putting all the focus of the main topic videos and all the actual like stuff that I feel like people really care about. And then people are going to that one and subscribing to that one instead of coming to the main channel. So I can't make heads or tails of it, but something is definitely different.
And it caused great panic because, as you know, I have a lot of staff. My YouTube channel actually pays for all of the staff on my live stream.
But that's kind of on you, bro. That no one told you to hire staff. That I hate when creators start going, oh, I got staff to pay for. This reminds me of Gerard the Completionist. You start going down this road.
I have, a thumbnail person, video editors, and much more that all rely on YouTube, which has been extremely consistent for me over the past 5 years. For the first time in 3 or 4 years, I have started losing a lot of subscribers, hundreds, thousands a day. I couldn't figure it out.
Hundreds or thousands a day is a shit ton of subs to be losing every day. I would say I'm not necessarily losing subs, but I'm also not necessarily gaining subs right now. Like my channel for a while, I was going like 150 plus subs a day. My really good days, I was getting over 1,000 subs a day. I was getting 500 or 400 on average for like a 3-month period. It was going gangbusters, crazy. And now it's like, nah, it's very like, it reminds me of back when I had like 10,000 subscribers where I was getting like 5 to 10 subscribers a day. Sometimes I'm getting like 20, 25 subs a day. Sometimes it's in the negative. And I'm like, I don't understand what I'm doing the same thing every day. I don't understand why some days it's wildly up or wildly down, but yeah, he's losing a lot more subs than I am right now. So can't really speak to that. That's pretty crazy.
Figure it out. I think there are some reasons that are causing it, things that I'm doing, things that I'm going to address in this video, but there's also something going on with YouTube that I can't.
Hypnotic. I wish I had staff. Dude, me too. Me too. But I think, Hypnotic, you'd agree with me on this. I'm way too much of a control freak. I've had people that have offered to be editors for me, and I could theoretically try to afford to pay them to edit, but I'd rather just not. I'd rather control what I have out there, edit it myself the way I want it to be, and keep it authentic to me. I mean, that's YouTube. It's you. Like that's what it's all about. So that's the way I've always looked at it. But yes, it would be nice to have more assistance for sure. For sure.
Can't figure out. First of all, I asked my viewers, hey, I've got 2 million subs. Why in the heck am I getting 8,000 views again, or 8,000 views on a video? For the last 5 years, 4 or 5 years, if a video did good, it got 100 to 200,000 views. If a video did bad, it would still get 70,000 views. It's not, and I would still have this sporadic good video. I had a video on Thursday that had 200,000 views, or on Wednesday. I had a video on Tuesday that got 100,000 views. But then every other video I'd upload that day would get 5,000, 7,000 views. These numbers are, if it continued like this past these 2 weeks, which it has been, I would have to fire everybody that works for me. Everybody.
I don't necessarily believe him on that. But I mean, maybe things are really that bad. Maybe it is. Now I saw someone in the chat. I can't find it right now, but someone in the chat was talking about how YouTube has updated how they dispense advertisements. And that's something that I have not necessarily noticed myself because I pay for YouTube Premium, but I have heard people tell me that the ads have increased like double or triple what they used to be. And I have not changed a damn thing. My earned income has not gone up from ads. So I don't understand, like, if more ads are being served, where's that money going? And all it's doing is turning off viewers. I'm very confused by this entire situation. Is Google just squeezing every drop out that they can right now? I wonder.
And
Grogbass says the new ad system is insane. It's like 3 to 4 times more ads. I mean, I'm telling you, it's like $12 a month or something, or $13 a month, I think, for YouTube Premium. I will pay that for the rest of my life as long as I'm dealing with YouTube because it is a godsend. Now people say, "Oh, just get an ad blocker." It's like, well, I watch most YouTube on my phone when I'm out around doing stuff, or I turn the screen off and I'm listening to it while I'm around the house cleaning or something. And I have the screen off, and with YouTube Premium, it allows you to do that. So there are a ton of benefits to Premium. And oh, by the way, yeah, you don't need an ad blocker. It just is no ads on the computer too. So to me, it's worth it. To me, it's worth it. And I also use it for the music service too. So I don't pay for Spotify or Apple Music or anything. It's just part of the YouTube Premium is I have all the music as well. So, I mean, to me, it's worth it, but
probably make some other pretty drastic changes. I couldn't figure it out. So first things first, the things that I can control. I asked my viewers, what is going on? Why are you not, what's going on? Why aren't you watching my videos anymore? So to address the loudest feedback, too many ads. You're doing too many ads, Jeremy. I'm sick of the ads. I'm sick of them. You're doing them too much. I've heard, and I will correct. I will now limit all ad reads to a 1 per day maximum.
Now, Jeremy, I think you're misunderstanding the complaint. Yes, your ad reads are obnoxious and it's annoying to people. But I don't think people are necessarily saying you read too many ads. I think people are saying that YouTube has put too many ads into the videos. And then on top of that, you're doing ad reads in your videos. Like, bro, pick a fucking lane, man. Like, are you going to do ad reads or are you going to put ads on your videos? You got to do both. That's a lot of fucking ads. That's a lot of ads in a 10-minute video. That's a lot of ads.
In order to complete this, I have canceled sponsorships that were paying me money now that, in order to not have to do more than one per day. And that also includes promoting Quartercast, my live stream channel, and my Trump cookbooks. If I'm doing a Trump cookbook, that counts as an ad. One per day max, period.
A Trump cookbook? Bro, where did I go wrong? A Trump cookbook? What? Wait, what?
So hopefully the people that haven't been watching, that were annoyed by all the ads, you'll come back. Secondly, in my panic of trying to figure out why videos that would normally get 50, 60, 70,000 views, why in the hell this was happening, I was deleting them because I thought, well, this is a video that's performing very poorly.
I know what he's going to say next, but when I first heard him say this earlier when I watched this, that is never a good idea. Why would you delete videos? Like, don't delete videos. That deletes views from your channel. That looks terrible on your algorithm. Plus, you never know. I've had random videos get spikes days or weeks after I've published them for random reasons. I would never just delete a video just because it doesn't look good alongside the other videos performance-wise. Who cares, bro? Who cares?
And it's bad for my channel to have a video that has like a click-through rate of, my average click-through rate might be 10, 12%. Any video that gets worse than that gets sent out to less people. That's just how YouTube works. So if a video is getting, for whatever reason, a click-through rate, meaning that's the number of times people click versus the number of times the video is shown to them, the higher the click-through rate, the more YouTube will show it to people. That's why clickbait's a thing. The lower, the less, right? Because there's a finite amount of real estate. So I thought, well, but this video has a low click-through rate, I better delete it. Turns out that was very bad. And I know other YouTubers that do this, so you should stop. I talked to my YouTube rep, which is an actual person in America, not some, random H1B in India. And he said, that's very bad. Stop doing that. Well, would have been nice to know 2 weeks ago when I started doing it, but now I know. So obviously, if I put out a stinker, it's going to stay.
He's overthinking the shit out of this. Like, again, I go back to maybe it just sucks right now, and hopefully it just gets better. Maybe it's not you. Maybe it's just the platform in general is just way lower. Maybe that's what's happened. I do notice there's been a shift on viewing habits, especially for myself, where I find myself watching far more live streams than video content these days. And I do wonder if that's what's been happening, is more people are watching live streams instead of the videos. But maybe that's just me. Like I said, I can only speak from my own experience with that.
All right. The other big good piece of feedback is that, Jeremy, you're not providing enough in-depth, enough additional value in your videos. And you know what? Fair point. I think the market has shifted, and it's no longer okay just to have to, just to read an article and give my, whoa, that's crazy. I need to be better. And
this is such a Review Tech USA take right now. So you guys are telling me that I just read the articles and say, whoa, that's crazy. I need to be better. I can promise you nothing is going to change. This is what he does. This is it. He might take a step back and try to do something different, and then he's just gonna fall back. And you watch, it's gonna be the same thing. We need to clip that. Whoa, that was a pretty good whoa. Let me rewind that.
It has shifted, and it's no longer okay just to have to, just to read an article and give my, whoa, that's crazy. I need to be better. And to avoid having my wife sell her feet pictures, I have hired a researcher full-time. Her job is to help me formulate these videos, to add more information to them, to teach something rather than to read an article and react. Now, there's going to be some videos or articles or stories that reading or reacting is totally normal and totally warranted.
It
However,
sounds like, I got to be honest, and we'll get into this later on when he starts talking about the other stuff, but it sounds like he's lost his passion for what he's even doing right now. And it's almost like he grew so fast and he doesn't even know like why he's even talking about what he's even talking about. Where it's like for someone like Asmongold, like you know what he's gonna do. He wakes up in the morning. I don't know if he drinks coffee, probably has Mountain Dew. Sits at his computer, logs on and does the stream and does it for like what 6 to 8 hours every single day. And then he has cuts and clips from that. And he reacts a lot of political content, but he also does a lot of video game stuff. And it's just his authentic takes. And you can tell that it's authentic and it's passionate and it means something to him. Jeremy, it always feels like I have to do this or else I don't make the money that I made and I need this money to continue doing this. And if I don't get this money, then everything falls apart. It's like, well, bro, what are you doing this for? Just to keep your company going? Because if that's the case, I would argue you're doing this for the wrong reasons. And that's why it's not working. That's why you're so stressed out. That's why I'm not. Like, I've noticed my views have taken a complete dive. My subs have taken a complete dive. I'm still doing this every day. I'm loving doing it. It's a passion thing. It's not a, oh shit, what am I going to do? I've hired these people and now I can't afford them and everything's falling apart and I have all this anxiety and everything. Find your passion, bro. Find your passion. You started with a passion at some point years ago when you're driving around RC cars. Get back to that.
however, when I'm talking about topics like Iran, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, even gaming, right? There's definitely room to be better than just an article reader. So to remedy this, I have hired a full-time researcher.
Hold on. Oh. Did this guy just start the video off saying, if the videos continue at the pace that they're going with the views, I'm going to have to fire everyone? And not just 4 minutes later did he say, I've hired another person. Jeremy, my guy, come on. What are you doing? You're setting yourself up to fail here. What are you doing?
She will work with me every day to help provide extra meat in my videos to hopefully make them more interesting and entertaining for you.
Shouldn't that come from you? Far be it for me to say this, but people are supposed to be watching you for you. Why do you need a researcher to provide interesting things? That should be you doing that. That's why people watch you. What the hell? Am I misunderstanding this? Like, am I being too hard on him? Like, what the hell? I'm so confused right now.
I need to do better and provide a better product, essentially. There is also the issue of my videos being boring. Now that brings up kind of, I used to have the meme intros. Well, I tested the meme intros and people were basically 50-50 on whether or not they cared about them. Well,
it sounds like he's overwhelmed. He's grasping at straws and he's just throwing whatever he can at the wall to see what sticks right now. That's desperate times.
The meme intros are coming back, but not just that. I have now shifted my full-time video editor, Steven. Many of you know him. His job will now be to make my videos better. So each day, he will add B-roll to my videos, memes, factoids, on-screen things to make my videos more engaging and interesting. The era of me just reading articles is over, is what I'm saying. And that's
press X to doubt. I can guarantee you, mark my words, 1 week from now, maybe 2 weeks. He might take a 2-week breather from this and try out new things. 2 weeks from now, he'll be right back to reading articles. You watch. 2 weeks. This is the RTU pattern. These people, this is what they do. It's how they got big. They're going to fall back into it.
Based on your feedback. How did it get like...
That's a lot of X's in chat, damn.
like this. Well, that's my fault entirely. I got apathetic. It became more and more about just making sure I find 4 to 5 videos a day.
Oh, Kino missed this. Damn, Kino's gonna need to react to this. They'll have a field day with this.
That I think will get 100,000 views. It became more about hitting my goals because I had so many employees. And the stress of that.
That's not anyone's fault. And I understand he doesn't mean to say that's our fault, but by bringing it up in the way that he does, it kind of like alludes to it. Hey guys, it's not my fault. It's kind of your fault for not watching this.
Meant I was covering some stuff that maybe I wasn't passionate about, you know, or I wasn't that interested in, but I thought, hey, this is what's going on, and this is the stuff. The stress of having so much staff was creating that, and so I have trimmed fat. I'm not gonna name names or anything like that, but I went from a staff of about 10 people to I'm going down to about 3 people.
Wait. So you've hired people, then you fired people, but you just said at the beginning of the video that you'd have to fire everyone. Well, you basically already did fire everyone, but now you have a staff of 3 people. I'm assuming you're counting yourself in that, so you have 2 other people, but then you just hired a new person, or is that new person you hired part of the 3 people?
And the 3 people I'm keeping are going to have to do more work. But
are you one of those 3?
They are also the people that when I shared with them that I was experiencing immense stress at what's going on with the channel. And
this is Gerard the completionist levels of cope right now. With the completionist and that one video gamer company where they had like 10 or 15 employees. And I'm like, bro, why? How? Yeah, your channel is like, your videos are fine, I guess. But I mean, no better than a channel where it's just one dude. Like, I don't understand why you need 15 people working for you. And we have a situation over here. It's like, why do you need all these people working for you? It's crazy.
You know, what's going on? Because I'm very transparent. I share with most of my employees how much money I make, even. Like, what boss does that? I share my analytics with them, right? So these individuals came to me and said, look, I'll work for free. Let's get through this rough patch. I'll take on extra work. And it was a very proud moment for me. So, Steven, my graphics guy, they're staying. My live stream co-hosts are staying. That's kind of a different deal because I have a deal with Rumble that helps offset the cost for that. But I also trim staff there. You'll notice I went from 4 or 5 people down to 2, or 3. I mean,
I'm telling you, this guy, he is, from what I've seen and witnessed, he is terrible at running a business. Like, absolutely terrible. He's great at making the money, but my goodness, it's like taking a bucket and trying to dump water out of a boat that has a hole in it that's bigger than the bucket. He's just doing the work, and the boat's not sailing at all.
And they are now lending a hand. Luke, for example, is helping me find guests. Hannah Claire is helping me find topics. Melanie Mack is helping me find topics, and I'm going to ask them all to help.
Shout out, hey, before we go too far, shout out to Melanie Mack.
Promote the live streams to help that too. The burnout was real. This had never really felt like a job before. Like I said, I was having near daily anxiety.
He is almost acting like he has almost like a nervous tick that, like, what do you call it? Like Parkinson's, like Michael J. Fox, where he's just like, he can't just talk. He's doing this while he's talking. it's almost like early onset Parkinson's. I mean, my unprofessional diagnosis here. If it turns out that he has Parkinson's, I'd be like, yeah, it makes sense. I kind of see it with how he's talking and can't stop moving like this.
You see me squirming around, doing this, touching myself, like it's a weird tick, like touching my heart, because I feel like, because when you have anxiety, you have like all this adrenaline dump.
Is it anxiety though, or is it something else?
The weird breathing, it's all anxiety. And so last night, you know, I finally had enough. And in addition to just understanding and taking responsibility for the fact that had I continued down the path I was over the last 3 months, I would have completely killed this channel. I would have completely killed the quartering channel.
I see, again, I don't believe that. I think he's being way too rash with his rationale here. He's being super extreme, where he's like, oh, if I continued doing what I was doing, that everything would have fallen apart, it would have died. It's like, would it? Or is it just a rough patch for all of YouTube right now and everyone's getting less views? And you just got to keep grinding away and keep doing it because you love doing it. It sounds like he doesn't love doing it and he's starting to freak out because if the passion isn't there and the views aren't there, then you start to question why you're doing this. And especially if you have people you employ, oof.
Spewing out videos, being happy with a, odd hit and miss. To be clear, Hannah Claire Luke and Melanie Mack are all still employed. That's a different company, basically.
Of course, Melanie Mack's still employed. Dude, you ran such defense for her during Goonergate. You have to keep employing her. You like tripled, quadrupled down on defending her, no matter how stupid you look doing it. Of course, you got to keep her on. You would look like such a buffoon if you defended her and then let her go. That would make no sense. He simps so hard for her. Exactly. So hard. I've never seen, I have seen, Tipster was a pretty big simp back in the day. But besides Tipster, I've never seen someone simp so hard for someone than Jeremy for Melanie Mack. Damn.
Basically. And, being wrong is something that has increased in the past, in the recent history. That's one of the things that my researcher is going to help me. And she's going to correct me when I'm wrong and provide information about
X to doubt that he's going to actually listen to anyone.
Things. So overall, the quality of my videos starting Monday.
Yes, Kag of Chaos. This is the guy that's in the hater video at the beginning. But to be fair, he's also defended me in other videos. And I don't know if he actually knows who I am. Like he's interacted with me on X multiple times. He's talked about me. He's been awful to me. He's been great to me. I don't know if he even knows who I am. I think he just deals with so many people that he just doesn't even know who I am. He probably thinks I'm a different person every time he talks about me.
I'm going to, even on today's live stream, I'm going to play video games this afternoon. I'm going to relax this weekend, and I'm going to make my videos better. Also, what led to kind of the destruction is spending too much time on X. I was picking too many stories off X. And I think instead of spending so much time on X, I'm going to spend time in my Discord.
This is wild to me. When I heard him say this earlier today, I was genuinely taken back because I was like, well, first off, X is where I get a shit ton of the stories that I cover that are fascinating. And what is actually happening in the world right this second that people care about. And sure, you can go to your Discord, which is great. That is one resource. But I've found for me on X, there are a number of people that will DM me throughout the day with stories or interesting things that happen. I'm Batman, Nev G just come to mind off the top of my head. That are always DMing me throughout the day, like, hey, here's an interesting like heads up on this, that they never expect anything back from it. They're just like so kind, like, hey, just in case you missed it, this happened. This, because I can't be everywhere all at once. And without these people, I would not be able to present the information to you every night, because I'm trying my best to keep up with everything, but I just can't. But it sounds like to me that Jeremy doesn't have a network of people that communicate with him throughout the day, and he doesn't follow accounts that provide insight that are important information that people want to hear about. Like libs of TikTok, not always on point, but when they are, oh my God, there's some banger stories from libs of TikTok. You could say the same thing about Grums, Pirate Nation, even Hypnotic to a certain extent. There's a lot of channels out there. There's a lot of accounts, I should say, out there on X that really do a good job of just, hey, this is a wild story. Madam Savvy, one of the best. That you just follow these channels, look at their timeline, and they are on it every day with what's happening. And they save you so much time, because like, I don't know where to go. These people all know. I don't know shit. I'll be the first one to tell people that. All I can do is find what people are talking about and react to it. These people are doing a shit ton of legwork. I don't know what Jeremy's doing if he doesn't understand how X works, or if he thinks he has to have all the information. That's impossible. No one person can have all that information. You need to utilize other people, create a network of people to be able to research and work together to get information out there to people. I was thinking about this earlier today, where I'm like, there is like a process of every day of information flowing. And I am now a part of that information flow, where I feel like I'm someone that picks up the information from somewhere, and I hand that information to you guys. And then I put my hands up, pick the information up from somewhere, hand that information to you guys. And you could say, oh, in a weird way, I'm a middleman. But at the same time, it's like, well, I don't just pick that information up from one person. I am almost like a filter of all these other sources, and I try to pick the ones that I feel like you guys want to hear about. Again, I don't feel like Jeremy understands that. He doesn't even know what you guys, what his audience wants to hear about. So he has to hire people to tell him what people want to hear about. And then he needs to go to his Discord to talk to people in his echo chamber and listen to what they want to talk about, and just listen to them. He doesn't want to go to X and go outside of his echo chamber. He wants to just stay in the network of people that are in his bubble. I don't know. I don't feel like this video is a great look for him. And I feel like this is a desperate plea for help. And it looks terrible for him. Because, yeah, we're all suffering right now. All our numbers are down. But making a video being like, I can't go to X anymore. I got to have people tell me what to do and listen to them, because I don't know what people want to hear anymore. I'm like, bro, did the world pass you by? Like, what? Who talks like this?
With my viewers, I think getting topics from my actual viewers is far better than from Pakistani bots. So, by the way, I'll link.
So his idea of X and Twitter is Pakistani bots. I never deal or see with bots, rarely ever. Sometimes in my replies, and I hide them and block them, but like very rarely, because there are trusted sources on X that you go to, and then you vet the sources to make, because there was a story I was going to talk about today, and I vetted it, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk about that, because that story it's a lie. There's no sense to that. I don't want to run with that story. That was, I'll tell you guys what it was, actually, because I had it up here. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to talk about this because it's not an accurate story. That was libs of TikTok. It says, get woke, go broke. USA Today, which no, it's not. This is a edited headline. USA Today did not post this. Breaking, Jack Black loses nearly 15 million in concert tours after he went woke. First off, USA Today didn't say this. Secondly, that's not true. And there's number of articles talking about how this has been debunked multiple times. And this was started by a satire account who was saying he lost nearly 15 million after that circulated online tour about the Happy Birthday Trump and how that went really bad with him. I had all this up, and I was going to go through all this stuff. I was going to go through all this, and I'm like, no, because the story's it's not a story. This is a fake story. I'm not going to move forward with it. So even though Libs of TikTok is a great source for a lot of stuff, sometimes it's not. Sometimes they'll push a fake story and it's like, oop, can't go with that one. So it's important to vet the stories you talk about, which I do. And even when I do that, I'm not perfect. Stuff's going to get through and I'm going to make mistakes too. But at least I try my best. These are things you guys don't see in the background, by the way. There's a lot more work that goes into it than just, oh, that's an interesting story. I'm going to talk about it. It's like, that's an interesting story. I need to find out more about this. I want some talking points. I want to know what I want to say about this. It sounds to me like Jeremy goes into making these videos and someone just hands him a piece of paper and he's like, okay, I need to react to this while I read it. It's like, well, there's a lot more that goes into it than just that. That's why you're failing, which is wild to say to a channel that has 1 million plus subscribers. But here we are.
I'll pin the link to my Discord if you want. It's just a chat room. That's where I'm going to spend more of my time. So I stay more involved with my viewers and not Pakistani bots on X. You know, I've also been expending a lot of energy growing my stream. And my stream will also be undergoing these same changes. It could be so much better than it is. I'm literally reading from a script that I literally wrote out everything, so I had a plan.
He's so proud of himself. He makes one video where he writes a script out. And he's like, I literally wrote a script out, guys. I literally did this. I'm like, bro, do you understand when I do the articles on smashjt.com, how many hours and time and research and effort goes into publishing that and getting that out there before I do the video on those? Do you know how much effort goes into that? Every single day, day in and day out, this guy's like, hey guys, I made a script this one time here. Pat me on the back.
You know, a lot of people don't even know where to watch my streams. If you're a YouTube viewer, you may have never even heard of Quartercast, which is a...
By the way, here is a dog whistle for an advertisement after he said he's not going to do advertisements. Hey, you might not even heard that I do other stuff. Here's where I actually...
separate live stream channel that I have. I'm live Monday through Friday at 2 Eastern and Monday through Thursday at 2 Eastern and Friday at 1 Eastern. But even that needs to get better. And, you know, by the way,
I mean, I know I'm knocking him a lot here, but there is something to be said for the accountability that he's trying to have. I do feel like that's important to recognize because it's not all bad. I'm having fun with it, but you can tell he's very distressed right now.
That you can find that stream. I'm also on, if you prefer to watch Twitch, the quartering on Twitch. If you prefer to watch Kick, I'm on Kick. If you want to watch it on X, it's also on X. So wherever you want to watch a live stream, I hope you'll tune in. It's going to get a lot better. I've got my co-hosts who are going to help me get more guests. We've got a big guest Monday, and I think guests will inject some life into the show and inject more quality for you, the viewer. And that change starts Monday as well. Everything will start on Monday. And I appreciate my viewers sticking with me and those who provided feedback. Because that's the most important thing. And being able to take it and listen to it also is important. I got lost in the sauce. I became robotic, and you guys tuned out. And what I'm hoping...
I mean, not to be overcritical, but I'm noticing a lot of I know he's married, but I feel like there's a lot of flamboyant mannerisms here. Maybe that's just the nervousness of him. Maybe I'm looking too far into this.
Hoping is either you'll continue to tune in or you'll come back and give me another chance given these changes I've now laid out for my channel. I guess we'll know in a couple of weeks if feedback is worth a ding. I happen to think it is. So this is my promise to you. More quality, better videos, more entertaining, better live stream, and
True. It might just be projection on my own part. Maybe that's fair.
And I thank you all for the feedback. 100%. We'll see. Hopefully the channel's not totally dead.
And then he cuts it off without even putting the watch next and subscribe thing. This is like a 3-second. It does. He tries to pretend that he cares, and then he doesn't even put the effort into caring. Man, kills me. Mark Smith for the 5-bagger says Jeremy got caught up in nonsense on X going after people. He's playing hooky from doing hard work. X is a gold mine. Thank you. I don't know what I'd do without X. Like if X went down, I would have to like redo how I do my streams, because like X is like the source for communication and a fast pace. Here's what's happening. Here's the latest stuff. This video here, like X is amazing for this stuff. To hear a million plus subscriber channel be like, I'm not using X anymore because there's so many bots there. I'm like, bro, what? Yeah, that's crazy.